ladies and gentlemen, so today we're going to go over the infamous one chord solo. Sometimes just soloing over one chord can be more difficult than actually soloing over a sequence of chord changes. All right, so let's get to it. Okay, so you have 7 basic chord types, ladies and gentlemen. So let's go over them real quick. We have augmented, sus or suspended, major, dominant, minor, half diminished, and fully diminished. These are your 7 basic chord types that you're going to find. I'm going to go over 3, 3.5 that are the most common that you're going to run into when you run into a one chord solo. And I'm going to show you different ways around each of those 3 so that way you can play something that's actually very interesting. Okay, number 1, let's say you got major. This is going to include major 6, major 7, a major triad, major 9th, major 13th. They're all pretty much the same kind of thing. So any major chord that does not emphasize the 7, in jazz we usually just call it a 6 or a 6/9. A major 13 is going to involve the 7th. So you basically have all these different types of majors to choose from. So normally we are confronted with a bunch of 2-5-1s, and we can treat the one chord solo very much like it's a 2-5-1. So let's pretend like we have a 2-5-1. I'm going to use a virtual 2-5-1. Not a lot of people talk about this, but people do it a lot. So let's say you have your one chord, which is a C major 7. So what can I play over that? 3 nice choices are obviously C major 7 scale, your C scale, or a C blues, or an A blues. So what I can do is think, okay, well, I got 3 chords there. What if I treat those like it's a 2-5-1? In a 2-5-1, I'd have a D minor 7, G7, C major 7. So how could I arrange this in such a way to give it the illusion of a 2-5-1? Okay, well, the least dissonant is going to be the C major. So I'm going to save that as the point of resolution. That's also the chord we're soloing over. So as a substitution for the 2 chord, I'm going to do an A blues. A substitution for the 5 chord, I'm going to do a C blues, and then I'm going to resolve that into a C major 7. Sounds like this. Another option, you'll find this very common, is to use Lydian mode over a major 7. Now you can use a bebop scale, which is an added passing tone, chromatic passing tone between the 5th and the 6th degree. So your C bebop scale. But doing that emphasizes the 6th degree and the root. So I want to show you guys a slightly different version of that. Basically, in the key of C, you would play your G major bebop scale. But start on the 3rd degree of that. So you start on the B natural. Whenever you have any of these one chord solos, your rhythm section is pretty much going to be listening for you harmonically to know where to take things. So clearly you can just open this thing way up, but it should be you that's dictating the harmonic progression of where you want these things to go. and they're probably not only just going to stick to that one chord, but that one chord will be the focal point. So you can start to move around a bit and have some fun with this thing. So enjoy those little tips to get you through that one. So let's move on to minor. When it comes to soloing over a minor chord, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be some kind of Dorian minor. You almost just can't go wrong when you're using a blues over this type of thing. But a little variation that you will hear people do a whole lot is something like this. Let's assume we are in C minor concert. So you'll hear somebody play something like this. So what is that little descending thing there? So it's basically just a D minor triad, D minor with a major 7, D minor 7, to D minor 6. Dominant 7 is my favorite one chord to solo over during one chord solos. And I want to show you guys this trick, and you can apply it and it'll blow your mind. I'm going to show you how you can superimpose the rest of the modes on top of that dominant 7, and you can have so much more variety with a dominant 7 chord. Okay, so I'm going to label this in the order of flats. So we start with Lydian. You got Lydian dominant, and then you'd go to Ionian, which we eliminate because it has a major 7. Then you go to Mixolydian. That's your one chord, so to speak. And then we go to Dorian. That gives us 2 flats, giving us a sharp 9 and a flat 7. Aeolian, giving us a flat 13 and a sharp 9. Phrygian, giving us a flat 9, a sharp 9, flat 13, flat 7. And then Locrian, giving us fully altered, which is a flat 9, sharp 9, flat 5, flat 13, flat 7. All right, sounds like this. So let's start with Lydian. All right, and then Mixolydian. All right, and then sharp 9. This is our Dorian. Then we go to our sharp 9, flat 13, very funk-oriented chord. Then we go to our Phrygian, gives us a flat 9, sharp 9, flat 13, flat 7. And then we go to our Locrian, giving us flat 9, sharp 9, flat 5, flat 13, flat 7. Let's talk about a sus chord. I'm going to save this mainly for its own video because it is the most ambiguous, misunderstood chord in all of jazz. It should only be written as a sus chord if it resolves. If not, then we really shouldn't write it as a sus chord. We should write it differently. Like, for example, a B flat over C is really a C7 sus, etc. All right, but I'm going to save that one for later in a different video. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I got for you. Thanks for tuning in. See ya.